Push the button.
I was gonna add my thing, but I ain't gonna do it. I'll leave it.
Did y'all see the color purple live?
I've seen the play. Yeah, I've seen it.
I have not.
Good stuff. And Lion King is coming back. I'm really excited.
You know, I was late seeing Lion King, but I was like a kid in a candy store.
No, same. That was me 2 years ago. And my cousins, they were so tickled because I was so excited. I
Yeah,
was literally like 11 years old in my
yeah,
mind. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat,
Singing everything.
yeah. That's
everything.
what.
And you know how the movie start. So I'm loud from the jump.
So what?
I mean, I mean. And then when Hakuna Matata came on, you can't tell me
Yeah.
nothing.
See it on Broadway, and I think Sean and his family's like, we've never seen Lee like that.
They don't know Lee.
Like, y'all don't understand me and the Lion
Listen.
King. It's coming here too, but the ticket prices is ridiculous. In their little tour that they doing,
You said the ticket prices are what?
ridiculous, ridiculous. Shoot,
Happy autumn.
It's the first day.
is it their first day of fall? Happy autumn,
Happy autumn.
You couldn't tell. I'm ready.
Give
We're
thanks.
giving thanks. We're in a burgundy, you know.
I see you. I see you. Looking like you from Wakanda. Yes. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
I just
The
realized we were
place where
live.
you go to get what you know and what you don't.
Now you know.
Now you know. Um, it's Moist Mouth Monday. We are glad to be here.
Hmm.
We
What's mouth?
love us a good moist mouth Monday. Welcome.
Ready. I'm ready.
Welcome. Let me get Angel. Is your mouth moist? Me and Lee just had.
This the new. Oh, I missed it. Like this the new check-in.
Yeah.
My
Get your
gosh,
moist mouth moist.
because we might have a lot to say. Mm, refreshing.
The show. Welcome to the show. We talk about everything under the sun, and it's a whole bunch of shenanigans in between. I am Bryson. I try my best to be the hostess with the mostest, the moderator with these two genius individuals. It's Angel Simmons, Bishop LeAnzar Stockley. Oh, look at
I ain't got my ring on today, but
oh man, what's new in your world, guys? What's new in your world? First day of autumn. September's almost over.
hmm,
What's been new? This is actually our second show this month because we had to play catch up.
yeah.
What's
Because I was like, didn't we just do a show? But we catching up.
catching up?
We
What's been
catching
going
up.
on with you, Miss Loves Great Design?
Not a thing. I have been sick for 2 weeks,
See,
and
What you had?
yes, the day after the 5K, and shout out to Bryson and her love.
I
Am
saw her
I?
out there walking with y'all.
Shout out to Bryson and her beautiful coworkers that came out to the 5K I did on 9/8 day. We did a keep going 5K. We did a virtual 5K in Evergreen Park. And the day after, I woke up with a sore throat. And by the end of the night, I was hacking up my lung. And that continued. You know, I was very acquainted with Theraflu and hot tea and echinacea. And I had to switch over at some point to the tussin.
hmm. Oh, you were sick for real.
I was sick for real. I had to switch over to the tussin. I had every manner of cough drop and throat. I even pulled out the ginger crystals, LeAnzar.
Mm.
Them things is nasty. But
I
I had,
love that.
I had the
You got to
throat
honey them
comfort
right. You got
tea
to
and the
sweeten it
ginger
right.
crisp, nasty. But just so I can get my voice back. But that was fine. So I've been decongested for a week. Still coughing every now and again, but nothing like it was 5 days ago. But yeah, that's been my last 2 weeks. I've been right here on the couch,
Hmm.
trying to get my life together. That's what I've been doing and planning behind the scenes, getting ready for the next events because there's a 5K Saturday. So Saturday I'll be doing the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention 5K, and then October 4th is the NAMI Mental Health 5K, and then I got some other things planned for October. So
Oh, all of these
it's
5K.
planning season. We are already in pageant planning mode for next September, and then my pageant is in February virtually. So it's a lot going on online, but in person, I've been quarantined for 2 weeks.
Hmm. Hmm.
Did you take you a test?
No, because I ain't going nowhere. So I ain't go nowhere. I just stayed here and I passed some germs on to, somebody else, but it was nothing like what I had. So, yeah.
Hmm.
I have heard that it is going back around though.
It is.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
It
know,
is.
somebody that just got over it. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I have somebody I know just had it.
Mhm.
But I don't know where my heebie-jeebies came from outside of doing the 5K and the turtleneck, and
Indeed. Indeed.
Was it cold out there?
it
It was.
was chilly that
It was.
morning.
It was a little chilly that morning. By 9 o'clock, it was 300 degrees.
Listen,
Oh.
by lap 2.75, we was ready to snatch everything up, and we still did 4 laps. So
Hmm.
yeah. So shout out. Where here we go.
What happened?
What happened to our sounds? There we go.
Oh, that's what you was trying to get?
Yeah, I'm like, where our sounds go?
I hear the background music. Or I heard it.
I just cut that out. Maybe that's
Oh.
why I wasn't playing.
Hmm. Angel, if the
But you
people want to stay connected with you, how can they find you?
you can find me at Miss Midwest Purpose on Instagram or Love's Great Design on Instagram or the Message Media LLC on Instagram. But I'm there.
Do you have any merchandise?
You
Have any sorts?
can go to angelsimmons.com and look at what merchandise we have available. You'll see some posts going up starting October 1st, not this one, starting October 1st for what t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and
You said wet
Wet
t-shirts?
t-shirt. I thought I heard that too.
what t-shirts,
Oh,
hoodies, and
Boy.
pants are
I'm about to
available.
say they about to be hot.
Oh.
Oh
They was
my
about to book a flight.
I sure was. I heard her say wet t-shirt.
Amen.
Woo.
Uh,
That's where the right. That's what I said. That's where the sales at right there. You got the market. Got the market.
so right.
Shoot.
Yeah. So starting October 1st, you will see that info go up. I was waiting until fall started. It is officially fall, but I didn't want to kick that off on today. So I could. You might see it pop up early. Let's see how I feel tomorrow. You never know.
How do
Are
you
we
feel?
are we still looking forward to a V3?
We are, but it's going to be different.
Okay, we like different.
It's gonna be different, but there is gonna be a V3 at the top of the year. I'm still looking for a February situation. If I could do it earlier, I will, but you'll see all the information. But it's gonna be different than what you have what you have experienced prior. It's going to be a royal affair.
Hmm.
You fanning with your book?
I'm fanning because I'm hot, but it's going it's going to be a royal affair. But if you also want to read something this fall, you know, you can also go to angelsimmons.com and get you some reading material for those lovely cozy nights. Have some candles,
Come
have
on
a
now.
read,
Come
sip
on.
some tea,
Sip some
watch
tea
it, you know,
and get
or
you
not,
word.
you know, you can watch the replays of the show on YouTube. Go to Love's Great Design, and you can find all of our episodes of the show. This is season 5. You can go all the way back and binge from the beginning.
Come on now.
But I'm hot though, for real.
It was good. It was good.
The
Well, you hot
benefits of
now.
being
You
40
hot. You
something
hot over
else.
there with the smacks. Mr. Stockley, what's good in your world?
You know,
Saving souls. What's happening?
just saving souls. No, trying to. It's my own included. Lord,
Oh,
today.
that's right.
You know, just finishing up, finalizing some more continuing education stuff. Um, some more certifications and stuff like that. I'm probably a certification king. Um, so adding to my education, I guess is the way I'm getting my own version of a doctorate my own way. But other than that, let me see. Nothing else going on. Just finished some workbooks. Or just finished a content for workshop workbook. I'm still designing it now, though. The actual layout for it, because like I mentioned to y'all, just not really thinking we need to see a lot more relational repair in our world. Um, and so, just working on something to kind of move. I guess you could say people that are in relationships. Well, when I was looking at the principles, it goes beyond that. Everything I do, I think, actually goes beyond the just like romantic, but I'm looking at infidelity, all forms of it. So not just sexual infidelity, but looking at all forms of infidelity, which just means unfaithfulness in a relationship that have come up, and trying to help give people tools for how to actually repair. Because what we're used to is I'm sorry and then we move on, right? I'm sorry and we just go on. We stay in the relationships too. We just go on, but the heart is still jacked up, the nervous system still activated, and insecurity is still high, and all that other stuff. So some things for how to kind of repair together. So just finished the workbook for that, and again, like I said, I think it'll be able to be used in all types of relationships, but it is what it is. That's what I've been hearing in prayer.
Uh-huh.
It's what I've been hearing in prayer. I see the problem. I see the problem. We see the problem. We see the issue. But honestly, I don't think we have enough models in our society of repair.
Absolutely
We
not.
have a lot of models of, I don't know. We just go on. We have our things happen. So either we'll just end and call it quits with somebody, but dynamics have not been healed. And so then we just go on, and then we go into the next relationship, and we're still carrying all of the drama, the trauma, or at least the dynamics or the hurt and everything from person to person. And I think it's contributing to why we see such separation in the world. Not even just like, again, romantically, why we see such separation and division, and leaning more towards the individualistic side of life, because we haven't learned how to repair together. Right. So even when you hear people say, "Oh, I healed from that. I healed from that relationship," and they're usually talking about they did it by themselves. And actually, real healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in community. So we'll see. But other than that, nothing else really going on. So some more education, some more resources, and including these resources that are already existent.
Come on, you
There's,
had it ready today, boy.
I had it ready today. Relationship ready. Yep. Moving from hashtag relationship goals to a wise foundation for relational greatness. So this is good. Good principles in there. Ready is an acronym. And then the good old trusty relationality, consciously aligning to our divine relational worth, which I think is important, especially right now these days. A lot of our issues is I don't think we really know our worth. And I'm not talking about I know my worth. I ain't talking about that kind of work. Right. And then also the good old trusty Soul Circle conversation cards. Um, these are available to deepen the conversations in your circles. About that. Getting to know each other on more of an intimate level, deeper level, which you still get to choose because you get to choose how you answer that question or the questions or prompts that come up in the midst of that. So yeah.
Is that pack open? That's right there. Is it open?
That pack is open. That pack is open. This is the pack that I've been having to use, and somebody drilled me on one of my groups. Can we play? Can we do your cards? So I gave in one night. And we actually did this.
Is that what we got to do, Bryson? We got
We
to
did
talk
this.
like
Because I
that?
feel like, I mean, I got a bag like that. Can we do your cards?
Can we do your cards? Can we play?
We could play a card or two.
You.
And so, but imagine this was on an audio group, so it was, some stuff I had to kind of move through. It's like, I don't know if we can do this one on here. And then there was one card, just funny. It was one card that said something about give each other over the top compliments. Pick somebody and give them over the top compliments. So these two people picked somebody from the group, and they're like, y'all about to make each other cry. It said over the top compliments because they were supposed to be funny. They was giving each other these deep sentimental,
what's your definition of over the top?
Over the top is like extravagant. All like, over the top. Like I don't know.
That can't be right deep.
Now. No, it can be deep. But to me, over the top means it's almost funny and ridiculous, but it's carries the truth.
You could have said that.
So, like, if I just tell you, like, I love the way that your middle toe smells on your right foot, that's over the top.
That's over the top.
I do love the way your middle toe smells on your right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I noticed last time when you were liking it a bit.
Don't say every. Jeez, I always want to tell everybody everything we be doing.
We're transparent.
We are, but golly, can we have some privacy? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all okay?
We all right.
Okay.
And
so
you?
Look. Oh, and me?
Bryson?
I'm fine. What's going on with me? I had the privilege to participate in 988 Day with the lovely Angel Simmons and a few buddies. It was nice. It was a beautiful day. The energy was amazing on the, just in the atmosphere itself. It was beautiful. I mean, we walked past and engaged, with some beautiful souls, and people I don't think people realize as much anymore about the little things, how much like a good morning means, or how you doing, when you just are in passing with people. And like for me, that's always been a big deal, and it still is, because how you engage with people, I guess verbally, just kind of it kind of activates, maybe the rest of your day, depending on that person. If it's a stranger, that might activate, the goodness of your day. If it's a loved one, that might carry on throughout your relationship in that day or the days to come, or how you interact or engage with other people. So that was a big deal, and it was good to be a part of that, because you don't see it. I feel like we're the last generation. We are the last generation. Outside of that, just fulfilling my plantation duties daily, plantation duties. No complaints.
I thought about you yesterday. I made some more grapes.
Listen, them homemade grapes.
So good. She said, "Did you make these grapes?"
Homemade grapes is a jam. If y'all need homemade grapes, y'all see Angel Simmons. Go to angelsimmons.com. Get you place your order for some homemade grapes. And we'll try to have them available for you in February.
You
Oh my
growing grapes in your backyard?
goodness. No. Woo. That was funny.
She
I
Oh,
brought
did
some.
my best to feed these people. They wouldn't even eat. They wouldn't eat. They wouldn't take nothing. I had all this food.
I ate.
We had we had fruit. We had water. We had ice. We had breakfast cookies and bars and
I
whatever.
had a breakfast bar and a breakfast cookie, and I
And
had
that's
some
all
homemade
that stuff.
grapes and some about 4 waters.
homemade grapes.
I still got 3 in the fridge.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Mm.
Lee, you said something that stood out. Healing dynamic, and that's, I want to know more about that, but I want to start the show off talking about emotional accountability
Hmm.
and and what angle I wanted to approach for that. Emotional accountability is, Fantasia has a song. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Because if it's that hard for you to communicate with me in a loving demeanor, in a loving tone, in a loving perspective, in whatever capacity our relationship is, our connection is, um, and the nobody else has held you accountable, so you've never had to worry about that before, is out the window. Because who can hold you more accountable than you,
Hmm.
especially at one of these good ages that we are surrounded by right now?
Hmm.
So I think we all love accountability partners, but I think that people sometimes wait, um, and choose not to be accountable or overlook the need for accountability because no one else has addressed them or said anything about whatever the concern may be. Now, I'm talking specifically about how you communicate with people, because what you say is almost just as important as what you show. We always talk about his power in the tongue, and you manifest things through your mouth, and all of these things that we say. Um, it's very important how you approach and how you converse and how you talk, how you communicate with a person.
Hmm.
So things that you are used to doing may not always be those things that you could do anymore. And if you are just used to doing those things, that means you're stagnant, right? And you're not growing, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you're not growing. You're stunning your growth because you're clearly not evaluating yourself. So, how, so when you started talking about the healing dynamic, I'm wondering how that partners up with emotional accountability, especially from a communicative aspect.
I think it partners up perfectly. Um, yeah, perfectly actually, because again, the accountability pieces, or even when we just think about healing, relational healing, it happens in relationship, which means what? That is two people involved. That is another party involved, or whatever. So when people refuse to actually bring themselves to a relationship where they will allow accountability, it's almost like, why are you in relationship with anybody if you're not willing to actually really be accountable, unless you just believe the world revolves around you, right? So it's almost like that's just our social, it's a part of our social responsibility. And so when we look at that from that particular standpoint, if that's missing, there's a measure of healing that we don't get to experience.
Hmm.
Because what comes along with the accountability is obviously the owning of your behaviors and your impact, the impact that it actually had on somebody else. So not even just I own my behaviors, but I also own and take responsibility for and consideration for and care for the impact or the consequences of those behaviors, the impact that it actually had on somebody else, whether we speak emotionally or just relationally, period. And so I think when we're able to kind of show up in that way, we actually start to cultivate the ground where our relationship can grow into something more, or grow into something strong or grow into something healthy and healing. It's otherwise I think we just keep straddling the fence on stuff, and just like I said a minute ago, we just keep moving on, just keep going on, but no healing is actually really truly happening, and definitely not no co-healing that's actually happening. We're designed to co-regulate. Like, yeah, you got to take your responsibility to regulate yourself, but we're also designed to do that together. And so if you won't even have that emotional, but a lot of times too, what you look at is somebody's not, they don't know how to deal with their own emotions, so then everything from them is reactive and defensive. And so when everything is reactive and defensive, you're actually getting in the way of connection, which is our design. So then healing is stunted. Definitely stunted.
And do we think that a lot of this just comes from being afraid?
The lack of accountability.
Is it being afraid, or is it just like true self, not being self-aware?
I think it's both. I actually think it's both. I think that there's some people who really truly are not afraid. Angel just said a minute ago, some people that don't realize they are a certain way. I think some people really don't see it, right? Because we all got blind spots, right? So there's a measure of blind spotting that happens, especially if you think you got two good qualities. Well, I got this and I got that, but then we don't see some of the other areas of things. But I also think that some of it is fear, or is kind of like because for whatever reason, it seems like we approach life where if we show vulnerability, we show we've made a mistake, we show we whatever, it's almost viewed as a sign of weakness.
Mm.
And so then I think people are I'm afraid to be wrong, because if I'm wrong, then I think that we feel like it takes a shot at our identity, but we also judge that way too. So it's a social problem, because we also will label somebody and name somebody if they're in a delusional sense of awareness, and they happen to do something to you. They about to get it. They're about to get it. And so the fear to some degree makes sense, because we don't say to each other, you can mess up with me and I'll still honor you and see you as who you are. We don't do that. We say, you mess up with me, I'm done with you. But then that plays on the social part of our nature that's designed for connection. So now I'm afraid I'm going to actually lose you. But it's still an oxymoron, because you would think that would make you say, hey, I apologize, I'm sorry. But some people double down. Some people double down and go the other direction. And it just makes them more prideful instead of actually less prideful and more relational.
I just posted something or reposted something recently. The guy was talking about how in relationships, when you have people, well, this new dynamic of relationship our culture has shifted to, when you have people who are for you, who are present, who are devoted, and who have not turned their backs on you, even that sometimes can be viewed as a weakness, because you got these folks, they ain't going nowhere, they here, as opposed to valuing that as a character trait that's important, because what did you just say? I messed up. And they're still there. You have people that are still there. They love you for your mess. It's seen as a weakness.
Or is it, have I become complacent because I take you for granted? That you're still there anyway.
Exactly. And that feeds into no accountability.
Yeah.
Because I can mess up and you're not going nowhere, versus I really don't want to mess up because you've been here.
Right. Out of goodness, out of great. I've said that same thing spiritually with you, because y'all may already know. I don't follow scripture, Bible, because you ain't supposed to do something. It's like their holiness to me made more sense when it became an actual relationship, to where, you know what, God, you've been so good to me that I don't even want to do anything that violates you, out of honor. not out of fear of going to hell and heaven and all this other kind of whatever, but just out of honor for who we ultimately are. I've had several people, just even thinking about relationships throughout my life. I've had several people who kind of, they asked the question, and I played that song for y'all a minute ago. Somebody asked why I give so much of myself, that I should slow it down because that's not very good. I would listen to them if that was the only option. Except there's one thing left to do, and that's redirect my focus, change my mind, love the one I should love as you. Right. And so I've had people question, why do you love people, or why are you even aiming at loving people unconditionally? And I was like, well, it's because I've realized the importance of what unconditional love is. And I've also realized, although I don't do it perfectly, that's my strive. Right. But you get in relationships with people like, oh, he's going to stay. And I said, wait, now. That also don't mean I'm saying love always stays, in the sense of staying in an abusive type of dynamic. Love will divorce that dynamic. Yes, it will. But overall, there's the question of, oh, so I can almost do everything and then you'll stay, or no, you can do many things and I'll still love you.
Don't
right.
mean
But that is taken right. It's like, and many things are taken out and is looked at as weakness, or looked at as, in our society, as if you don't love yourself and you don't have dignity within yourself. It's like, y'all don't understand love the way I understand love. This is not me not respecting myself. This is a different alignment that I sense, from at least from within myself, and I can be delusional, but it's like, it's a whole different alignment that I'm aligning in this with. But I've had several people throughout my relationships think that meant that you could just do whatever. It's called unconditional love, not unconditional tolerance, first of all.
Oof.
And aside from that, you don't even recognize that you're being graced. You don't even recognize that God is actually on your side, even through people who are loving you, despite things that you've done. So, like you said, Angel, I think it's a picture to me of not just a sign of not taking accountability. It's also a sign of somebody who doesn't actually really truly understand gratefulness.
That's definitely it. Because once you have experienced unconditional love, once you have experienced grace from any place, it changes your view, and then it changes the method in which you give it, because you felt it. You know what it's like. I
Yeah.
use the analogy a lot. Um, when you've been loved at your ugliest, and you know what that is. During those times, when you were grieving, when you were lost, when you were dealing with loss, when you were angry, when you were depressed, when you were whatever your struggle and suffering was, when you were there in that dark space, the people that were with you, or the people that were still reaching out to you, once you've experienced that, it's really a no-brainer. It's not even an intentional thing that you have to put effort into. You just do. You just give. You just love. You just be, because you have experienced that. It changes. Um, it changes your action, and it becomes something that is so natural that you don't even think twice about: are you being taken advantage of? Is this person running over me? Do they deserve it? Are they being accountable? No, I'm just showing you grace. I'm giving you grace because I know grace, because I've received grace. I've experienced it. I've lived it. I've walked in it. I've drunk from it. I've fed on it. And this is what I have to offer. And I think I think you deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm living in alignment with my being. I'm living in alignment with my essence and the image that I was made in the likeness of. Right. So but again, so it's like, don't call me weak because you're not doing it. Because you're misaligned in that sense. But I wonder sometimes, Bryson, if I don't I'm questioning if we even want to really be accountable. If we really want healing versus just hardness or getting over stuff. If, like, all of the virtues, I'm wondering if we really want them. I remember being in a group and I said to some of the people, I was like, honestly, we don't like to talk about them, but the virtues are the very thing that's going to answer our problems. So, but no, we rather talk about it and say, I'm protecting my peace, instead of really digging deep into it and realizing peace is a fruit of your spirit. So what are you protecting? Even if you put some peace out, it got violated, you have the ability to produce some more.
Right.
Even if your love got taken advantage of it, guess what? You have the capacity, technically, from a spirit level, you have a capacity to produce some more because love never fails.
We should be a well of it.
We should be aware of it.
Flow freely.
Yeah.
It should
Yeah.
replenish itself.
That is the point of guard your heart with all diligence, for from it flows the well springs of life. It's to keep it working the way that it was designed to work. That don't mean it don't take hits. Obviously, it takes hits. So when it takes hits, what do? We process it so that we can clean up the garden, right? So that we can scour the heart. Why should we allow ourselves to feel the pain and the sadness and things that we go? Because it's a sad countenance scours the heart. It cleanses the heart, right? So when we start to really process it right, when I look at what has caused me pain and I make a decision, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to do this to anybody. I don't want to be the agent of this. Then your heart has been purified in a sense. And so you cleaned out. It's not about keeping somebody out. It's about keeping evil out, keeping bitterness from setting in, keeping as many thorns as possible from growing in that particular space of our heart. But I don't know. Sometimes I just wonder if that's what we even want, or have we given up and we just like, you know what, I'm just when in Rome, do as the Romans do, although it's still continuing to hurt us and causing us to have to put on thicker suits when dealing with each other. You know, sometimes I wonder, do we want to be accountable? Because again, accountability is a relational word. And so in some sense, how can I hold Brysen accountable if Brysen ain't agreed to accountability? And even by far, if she ain't even agreed to be her most true, authentic self, what are we holding her accountable to?
Your expectation.
Yep, and that's gonna go wrong.
I think a lot of times the hard part in that is that in your processing, you have to sit and decide, okay, did I do everything I could have done? Did I give everything I wanted to give? Did I go the distance? Did I give 100%? Did I put everything into it? Would I do it again? Knowing what I know now, was I authentic in my giving? Was I trying to get something out of it? Was I being me? Was I being real with it? Was it transactional, or was this grace filled? And when you determine those answers, it's a mirror for yourself. It's a mirror for yourself. Even in that question with Brysen, did she agree to being accountable to me? A lot of us are in relationships with people, or in situationships with people, or in connection with people, even unromantically, who never agreed to that. There was no conversation. You didn't sit down and say, okay, look, I'm going to be real with you. You're going to be real with me. We're going to be authentic. We're going to be truthful in this. You don't sit down and have those conversations. You find out who people are when they cross you.
Yeah.
Most times. But we also find out who we are when they cross us. And that's the mirror in the processing. Would you do all of that again? Were you your authentic self? Is this how you function, or was it transactional for a purpose? And that's the hard part in the processing, because it's showing you yourself. And a lot of times our expectations were not rooted properly.
Oof.
Hey, Rudy. Welcome back.
Rude dog in the place. What's up, Rude dog? Rude dog.
Rudy got something to say.
Hey, Rudy. But we have to hold space for grace first, room to be human, and all that comes with way before accountability can be even a part of the conversation, right?
We do.
We do.
Great. You know what? And what's interesting is we miss. You know what I think happened? We miss that the message is to everybody.
And you first.
Because people will go, oh, well, why I got to do it, but they didn't have to, or they're the ones that violated. It's like,
oh my God.
The message is actually to everybody. Everybody's not gonna say, hey, okay, I'll meet you there. But the truth is, the truth ain't changed just because everybody didn't decide to get on board. And so it's like this message is to everybody. So we do the reality of grace, leading with that before we even like it's all and y'all know I have a hard time saying this stuff because to me I just see oneness. It's all synced together. Like it really all goes together to me. Because y'all know I even have an issue with the love yourself. It's like there's just love. Like I don't the separations, I guess the mind makes sense of it to some degree, but it's almost like there's just that idea of all of this works together. All of the virtues to me are all the same. They're all love. It's all grace. It's all, if we're honest, it's all accountability. But see, there's a decision that has to be made that I'm willing to be. When we talk about a lot of times just being authentic, have people actually made a genuine devotion to being their authentic self?
Absolutely not.
Or have they made a devotion to just being their personality?
I don't even think people think about that.
Mm-mm.
Most people have not even met themselves.
And yes,
they
they
have made themselves.
Have made a commitment.
So how can they show you who they are authentically? How can they be accountable when they don't know who they are? It is not until there's some shift that takes place and they're like, oh, that's me. That's when it happens. They haven't met themselves. They can't offer you the best of themselves. They can't show you who they are because they don't know. A lot of folks out here is shape-shifting.
Yeah,
depending on the day, depending on
the place. Wait. A lot of folks are
shape-shifting. They out here shape-shifting. They out here walking shape-shifting. Depending on how much pressure you put on them. Depending on the circumstance. Depending on how they feel that day, how much they slept that day, if they money right, if they love right, if they body right, if they getting it right. A lot of people will be a different person given a different circumstance. They out here shape-shifting. They don't know who they are. They can't show you nothing. They can't be accountable to nothing. They can't give you nothing. They ain't authentic about nothing. Period.
That's why I say we honestly we meet more personalities than we do the actual soul. Number one, of a person. Two, even the same with ourselves. A lot of us are more acquainted with our personality than we are with our essence.
Because I'm gonna be somebody else on Tuesday than I was today. Don't catch me on the street tomorrow and think I'm gonna talk to you about my love walk and authenticity. I'm out here on this trail trying to get this body together. Ain't nobody got time.
This whole conversation is sending me through the roof right now.
Listen, you already know. And I'm all about no new friends. Don't come in my inbox. Wanted to talk about what I said on the show. No. Catch the replay. We ain't finna be friends. I ain't
that's what it's like. It's so interesting. It's so interesting though. Like you talk about accountability, but then if you don't even know authentically who you are, then why would I be accountable? I mean, like to me, it just all runs. It all runs a stream of what needs to be taking place. I said to somebody the other day, should we just push reset and start over? Like everybody learn over. Let's just learn over. But then again, I got disappointed because then I was like, well, shoot. And this was my own loathing. I was like, but shoot, what I know of humanity, we're gonna mess that up too. So
listen, little memes that come up that I always ask you want this door and take this money or this door and go back 10 years and fix your mistakes. No, I ain't going back. I ain't going back. I ain't starting over. Don't hit me no reset, nothing. We just gonna have to learn from here because I don't want to experience that again. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Don't take me back nowhere. Please, God, don't.
Yeah.
Is that the only option on the table? I don't want to live it again. It was traumatic enough the first time.
speaking of trauma, it's like, do y'all think that, just because I'm even just thinking about the different roadblocks and obstacles to why, even to your question originally, Bryson, like why we don't, either why we don't engage in, or why are we afraid of accountability, or what are any of those things. It's just so much happening right now, even because I see where boundaries are becoming a problem, like it the way we use it, and the amount of times where, do y'all think that there's a thing too where people are weaponizing their trauma,
Yeah.
weaponizing their triggers
Mm-hmm.
to avoid
Yes.
accountability, or to
Yes.
avoid whatever social responsibility, relational responsibility,
Yes.
relational ability, with people, because like that seems to get in the way too. It's a, yeah, yeah.
If you know that as my friend, you can't talk to me, you know what? I'll go here. This another this some of my business. I used to have arguments all the time about money with a certain person, and it stemmed from one, um, coming from a place where I didn't have none. That was one. I ain't got no money. We ain't talking about money. But it also stemmed from, a couple of breakups or a couple of separations. Until you go get a job, you need a job, you need whatever, whatever. It was crazy, but we couldn't talk about money. That was a
Mm,
trigger for me. As soon as they started talking about money and jobs, I'm shutting down because I don't want to have this conversation. I don't have this conversation. I don't have no money. You got money. We understand this. I won't talk about it. But it was protection for me from having to engage in adult conversation about taking on more responsibility in a relationship, or um, just the fact that we were raised differently. I was raised to be a princess, and I ain't paying for nothing. And what you mean I need some money to go out? I don't understand that. But you want to have an adult relationship and have adult conversation, you have to come to a compromise. I wasn't willing to compromise. I'm princess.
mm.
So you want to see me? What are we doing? Um, I guess you can't see me if you.
So it wasn't necessarily that they mishandled you,
Oh, absolutely
in
not.
truth,
Looking,
in terms
looking,
of,
looking back, truthfully, no. They had sincere and legitimate concerns about,
hmm,
every time I see you, I got to pay for everything. And at the same time, I wasn't taking in consideration that this is an 18, 19-year-old, with
mm,
a job in school, taking
hmm,
care of themselves. I'm
hmm,
being pushed out the door like, what you need money for? You and him. It was a whole
hmm,
nother
hmm.
situation, but use that. That was my trigger. So now, 10 years into it, we can't talk about money. Because every time we talk about money, I got to go back to this. So no, they can't even bring up you can't even bring up money conversations around me. So I'm gonna protect myself because we ain't talking about Angel getting a job or making no more money or putting no money on this bill. We're not gonna talk about that. So let's put this wall up. We're gonna do that. But I think for a
Wow.
lot of people, um, if they were raised a certain way and you're in a relationship with somebody, oh, and I just posted this too. Um, Something along the lines of, if you don't deal with your if you never deal with your childhood traumas, they're all going to come out in your first marriage.
Dang.
And your second,
And
And your
because
third.
that first marriage ain't gonna make it.
your
So,
if you don't deal with it, what Rudy just say? You bleed now, don't even know you bleed. You're just going to continue to bleed because it is a
yeah.
continuous open wound. Had I actually gotten married when that option was available to me, um, I think conversations about money would still be traumatic, and we would still be like, "You ain't what you talk about." But that was my safety net. We're not talking about this for somebody, and for other people, it might be sex. If they
Mm,
had trauma concerning sex, um, this is a conversation will not happen. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And this is the only thing you can do. And that
Hmm.
is a problem in a relationship with two people. If y'all supposed to be being intimate, and it's a whole wall of things that you all can't even discuss because you have trauma around sexual abuse or um, promiscuity, or whatever, or what were we talking about earlier, porn. There's a lot of aspects of sex and relationships that people can't even discuss. I'm not even gonna talk about that. No,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
why is this a issue or concern or problem? Why is it these are the things that we can't discuss? It's not just money or sex. Those are just two of the biggest ones. Two of the those are the top two contributing factors to
Yeah.
divorce, right?
And see, and that's why I was like, sometimes I'm like, do we want it? Do we want to? Because your triggers, our triggers, even our emotions, like you talking about Bryson with the emotional accountability and this, all of these things start with an emotion somewhere. There's an emotion somewhere attached to this, and then that leads to our thoughts and goes to the nervous system and all this other stuff, whatever. But it's we don't realize that, oh, this triggered me. It triggers it's coming up to be healed. Otherwise, you're gonna be a walking time bomb, right? You're gonna
Bleeding
be a
out
walking
everywhere.
grenade. You
Like
know what I mean?
really.
Yeah, it's like, so we've used. I did a like what you were just saying a minute ago. We can't even talk. I did a thing that I shared with some people. It's like, I'm triggered should not be the end of a conversation, but the
Oh,
opening to a more honest and compassionate one.
who want to do that? Don't
That's what I'm
nobody
saying.
want.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, do we
Nobody
even
want to
want?
do that.
Do we want that? Because that's where our healing comes from.
And
That's
some
where
of the
accountability and all this other stuff. Why be accountable if we're not going to heal?
some of the reasons why we don't want to do that is because we know deep down that that person is not a safe space,
Mm,
and we have put ourselves in that position.
mm.
We're not gonna have this conversation because you're not safe for me.
And then what
You
does that
good for
mean?
you good for three, four things, and that's it. But
Ooh,
this conversation,
Dang.
dang, dang.
this conversation, no, we ain't gonna sit and weep and cry and talk together. Mm-mm.
Ooh, Lord,
Make me a sandwich.
make me a sandwich.
That makes me a sandwich.
And that's the truth. And unfortunately, we have placed people strategically in our lives, in our circles, to keep us from having to deal with our mess. Because I don't have friends like that where I got to be authentic and deep with. Okay, I might have two, three people over here, and I ain't talking to them on a regular basis, so I don't have to deal with my mess. But these other folks, oh, it ain't gonna never be them kind of conversations. Not with them.
Mm,
Because
mm.
again, they good for three, four things. And that's that. And they're not gonna ask me to do it either. That way I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, man. And then yet, we all still have an epidemic of loneliness and wonder why.
Bleed now all over.
That's what Rudy said,
Like,
bleed.
Yeah,
bleed now
Walking
all over.
around like zombies.
bleeding out and
Zombies.
don't even know that we're bleeding. That's the biggest thing to me, is because again, all of this, all of what we need this, but we've convinced ourselves that we're fine. Like we've genuinely convinced ourselves that there's nothing wrong with us, and yet you got a whole eyeball hanging out. But we've convinced ourselves that that's the new fad. That's the new trend. You're supposed to
Everybody
have an
got an
eyeball.
eyeball.
Everybody got an
Everybody
eyeball
got an
hanging out.
eyeball.
That's how we evolved. We've evolved to have hanging eyeballs, and so
Hanging eyeballs.
because we've also made evolution the god instead of the spirit. We've evolved for survival reasons, right? So everybody's eyeball is hanging out. It's normal now that everybody's eyeball is hanging out because of evolution.
Dysfunction is what's normal.
We yes.
Evolutionary
Yes.
eyeballs. Evolutionary eyeballs.
Oh, moist mouth.
Moist Mouth Monday. Evolutionary eyeballs on Moist Mouth Mondays.
I think that's my grief, though, Bryson. Really, you know how y'all ask me something, how you doing, how you feel. I don't be wanting to give this existential answer, but it's very it's very existential. It's never one thing. It's
I'm all
bothering.
right.
Like there's this is going on in my life. It's whatever.
All is
It's
well.
what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, what I'm sensing, what I'm again seeing with my hanging eyeball. We are not as well as we would like the rest of the world to believe. Human flourishing, our social context, our relationships, and again, this ain't saying you gotta be best friends with everybody. Our relationships actually matter to our design and to our humanity. We had all these studies that's been telling us, but again, we don't care about studies. Sometimes I don't either, but it mean yes, and that's the thing. It's like there's so much individualism that accountability ain't needed anymore. In some sense,
it's not
unless you're a
demanded.
big name. If you're
It's
a big
needed.
name, then
It's not
you know
demanded.
you
It's
don't want
not
to get canceled or
required.
nothing. Yeah, but even like you said, we don't even require it. We're almost getting to a place, and again, when I'm saying we, I don't mean to generalize so much, but it's like it's almost like we're getting into a place where we don't even require it in our relationship. Because you said, I've already determined you're good for two things.
3 or 4.
She said
maybe three or four. Right.
Yeah,
It's like I've already determined that you're just good for that.
And being
and
my
so
sounding board and my safe space and a conduit of healing is not one of them.
It's not one of them. And so then we have these ongoing, maybe everyday interactions with people, but our expectations, and I don't mean expectations in a bad way, our expectations of what would be normal soul to soul human empathy and seeing one another doesn't happen. You're only good enough to meet my surface need. You're only good enough to rub my hand, to pay a bill, to bake some cookies, or make some cookies. You know. So it's like you're only good enough for those things. And so then I think that there's a measure where we feel on a soul level, at least those of us who haven't reached nirvana. I don't know. It's just like it's a suffering that's happening.
It is
a
loneliness
is there because we're not truly known.
It is a silent, lonely suffering, and it is sad and pitiful for most people. And they just,
what is it? Sad and what?
Sad and pitiful.
Pitiful. I needed that P in there. Yeah.
And they disguise that by continuing to do the same thing. Surround themselves with people who are social. They can have social interactions with social and surface interactions. That is the standard. That is the standard. This is what we will surround ourselves with, because you are not safe. And it might be because they attempted to have those types of interactions with somebody that they didn't know was safe, and maybe they were met with judgment. Maybe they were met with questions. Maybe they were met with pick something. It was not the response that they needed at that time. So you ain't safe. Let's try something else. Once you've tried a few people who ain't been safe, you stop trying. And and your standard becomes social and surface.
Social and surface.
Because that is the new safe for you. Social and surface. And anything beyond that is a struggle.
I'm getting to the place where I don't want to be. I'm getting to a place, and this gonna sound bad coming out, but I hope y'all understand what I mean when I say it. I'm getting to the place where I don't want to be safe. We use in the gentleman's check-in, we have the gentleman's check-in as a brave space instead of a safe space. Just because hell ain't nobody safe. I said in a group, and again, everybody that's out there, listen, I promise y'all I am trauma informed, and I do believe that our nervous systems need to feel safe for relationships to happen. But again, there's measures to where I think what's happening is we're weaponizing it. We're starting to weaponize it because safety first from a psychological perspective too, especially as we grow and we learn to regulate, safety starts in you. And so it's like, if I'm expecting that, there's some things where I could not wait for the world to make me safe for me to be transparent. It was killing me. It's like, if I'm sitting, I told somebody, there's some things, if I waited to feel safe, I wouldn't have done. I would still be sitting waiting for it to happen. So there was a measure of courage that had to kick in. So like, even when we start talking about authenticity, with the way we've been cultured, you can't wait for the opportunity to be authentic. The culture we were born in, so we have authenticity and we have attachment. Both of these things are fundamental to who we are as a being, right? Or particularly as a human being. They are fundamental to that, and they carry the same weight. And I argue that they carry the same weight. Some may argue differently. Our need for being who you are authentically from your origin, I ain't just talking about a personality, meaning being the essence that you actually are, and attachment, meaning relationships with people, caregivers, family, this, that, the other. We actually need them. They're very much a part of us. But what we've done is, because we're also extremists, we trade one for the other. And so in this family, I had to shut my mouth, right? How many of us grew up like kids are to be seen and not heard? So it's like I had to shut my mouth in order to eat, in order to be accepted in the family, or in order to be a part of the house. So then I trade my authenticity for attachment. Then we starting to get a little bit older, and folks is tired of doing that, right? So now what we do is, I'm gonna be me. I'm just gonna be me, and I don't care what nobody say, and I'm not even gonna be accountable. I'm just gonna be me.
Right.
I'm gonna be me. I'm not gonna be accountable for nobody's feelings and this and the other. So now we're going to the other extreme, and we abandoned attachment for our autonomy, or for our quote unquote authenticity, right? And so we keep missing the sweet spot. Is the middle. Both, they are not enemies. They're designed to, I see that sweet spot down at the bottom, the chocolate down there, but it's like, they're not designed they're not designed to be, they're not designed to be, oh God, that was good. So they're not designed to be opposites, but they really are supposed to actually go together, So the way our culture is, I think, is the way it's shifted, is we have to have all of this talk about safety now, all of this, and it's not that it's not true. We do need to feel safe. We need to be safe, but it definitely is a work of yourself, and there's a relational mirror, meaning the people on the other side who are doing their same work should be safe. Right, in that sense, because they're doing their own work. That don't mean that they're not gonna step on your toe. That doesn't mean that they may not misstep something. But we downplay, like when we talk about authenticity and trying to build our authentic power. First of all, that devotion to be your highest, I don't even want to say highest, to be your true authentic self. Making that devotion to be that. But then also what comes along with that is courage. Courage to push past the frightened parts of ourselves. Courage to push past the frightened parts of our personality.
Brave space and not safe space.
Just like you said, yes. It's like, so that courage has to come up, and because if it doesn't, I'm telling you, we're gonna be waiting forever.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, sometimes as you take the courage to do it, you'll find that Brysen goes, "Oh, this is what we're doing? I got you. I'm going to meet you there." Because all of this stuff actually has to happen in real time. Because what other conversation do we have before I know you're safe? You don't know I'm safe until you present something for me to have to hold. I could tell you I'm safe. Oh, you can tell me anything. Right? But until you actually take the step and take the leap to prove me wrong, for one, it's like we're still really missing it. But I'm using more so brave space nowadays,
I can give you something to hold and still not know if you're safe.
Yeah. And here's another reality too. And this is just truthful, because like I said, we might step on each other's toes sometimes. The safety doesn't come from that I won't ever misstep or hurt you. The safety should come from the reality that we can repay, that I have accountability, like Brysen talking about. And when I see that I've impacted you, I'm willing to work on repair. It's unfair for you to think that I'll never hurt you, right? That means you're saying I need to be perfect. But the safety comes from, I know that, Zar is that acts. He's one, devoted to being his to be love. He's devoted to being love, and he knows how to take accountability for his own things. He empathizes when he impacts another person, and he's willing to go through the process of what it looks like to rebuild and repair. We not only build a relationship of accountability, we also build a relationship of trust, or rebuild a relationship of trust, or strengthen the trust that we've already kind of had, But the courage to do the bravery is just as important as the safety we're asking for on the other side, because they're relational mirrors, and we're relational creatures, and we need that to heal together, because we don't heal in isolation.
Keyword: together.
One another.
Together.
The one anothering.
One anothering. Hopefully we can do better together in 2026, because this ain't it.
Yeah. I'm trying to offer some stuff, but again, sometimes I get discouraged because I'm like, don't nobody want to hear this stuff. Don't nobody want, and it's not even that I feel like I have all the answers and stuff, because I don't. It's like, but I'm like, I'm not even seeing enough conglomerates of people who are saying, let's figure it out.
Right. You're doing your part.
Yeah, I'm doing. I had said to somebody the other week, did we talk about it? It was like, what's your social responsibility? I know I've been talking about it in some of my groups. My social responsibility is to be who I was put on this planet to be, and to do my part to be built up in love. That's what I'm trying to do. What's my part to be built up in this? What's Brysen's part? What's Angel's part? And it's like, when we all kind of get into that space of figuring out what that is, I think we can deal with our pride. I think we can deal with relationships are going to have rupture. That's just reality. We can step on each other's toes. We have shells that we have to shed sometimes. But nothing grows without vulnerability. And that whole word vulnerability means the ability to be wounded. Obviously, we're not going to do this to get wounded. That's not the key goal. Ultimately, it's about growing into, or unfolding into, or unfolding from who we really truly are inside. We have the answers. Its name is Brysen and Angel. Being who Brysen and Angel and Rudy and whoever else on this thing, who we really are.
Mm-hmm.
Did I send y'all that thing? Some girl put something on social media. She says, y'all need to stop acting like y'all just human. It was good. I was like, girl, this is good. She said, y'all need to quit being human and recognize that you are a divine spirit.
Ooh.
That is having a human experience, obviously. So that means that this life should be taking cues from our spirit nature, not just our evolution. We've all developed to have one hanging high, one eye hanging out, and we decided this is now normal.
We know now those. I like that. All right, Rudy. Rudy said he is tired of writing.
You don't want to read it.
Was it the yellow pad? Because that make it official. It was on the yellow.
Boy, the yellow pad is everything, and a number 2 isn't mechanical.
The mechanical pencil. Y'all gotta get Rudy. We gotta get Rudy on screen one day. The phenomenal mind.
Yeah, let's set it up. That's
good.
Let's set it up. I'd like to touch on these points, and because they're real, and there is always something that's familiar with everybody, apparently. Um, you know, so I guess that's my social responsibility because if we don't put it out there, like we're really stuck, especially in the atmosphere we're all in right now. Yellow and
Mm.
number two. Okay, Rudy.
It's legit.
He's super, super. I mean, I guess, man, at the end of the day, do the work, search your soul, discover your true purpose, because it's short, it's ticking. Discover
Mhm.
your true purpose and act in it, act on it, activate it. Like, it's wild to me.
I like that. Act in it, act on it, activate.
Activate.
Activate it. Act in it. Act on it. Activate it. Maybe we should call this show
Here you go.
Activate it.
Activate it.
Oh my God.
Act in. Act on it.
Act.
Act.
And on that note,
Wait, what the fans say? Clock T. Clock T. I just learned that.
I
Clock
heard this
T.
other finger. Is this
They said you could do either one, but I think one or the other have different meanings, and I don't know.
child?
What is
I
it
don't know
called?
what this got to do with tea anyway. Clock and tea. Clock.
Clock and T.
Clock and T. I can't
Like,
keep up.
so like I mean, like say that, talk that talk.
Yeah. I can't keep.
But I've
Can't
seen
keep
people
up.
do it with this finger.
So I've seen it this way, and I've seen the middle finger, and I've asked. They're like, you can do either, but they was probably setting me up. I don't know.
Listen, that's funny.
Do dudes do it too? Because it look.
That could be good finger exercises when you play your piano. I mean, okay.
Rudy say snap the fingers. Yes,
Oh.
this is what we do for the spoken word and the poets and the great minds.
Thank you for all who tuned in, Rudy. We thank you for engaging as always, and we will get you on here one day. We'll have LeAnzar set it up so you can be a part of the show because you have some really great insight as well. So we thank you for your attentiveness and just being locked in with us. And we'll have some when you do come on the show. We'll make sure we have some parting gifts for you that include pencils and a legal pad.
The yellow.
The yellow and the number 2.
Yellow number 2.
Yellow and the number 2.
They'll be in his green room waiting.
Oh. So listen, I guess guys, if nobody else gets anything from tonight, just
We do.
be purposeful. I swear these shows be for us low key. Be purposeful, be intentional. Act in it, act on it, activate it. It's very, very necessary. Take
like
the time. Take the time.
Because you're going to forget it. Oh, we got the replay, though, don't we?
Rudy is making demands. So he gonna pick his own part and gift.
He going to pick his own part and give.
Mm-hmm. He wants
Look what he chose.
My shirt? My t-shirt? Activate it. I like that, Bryson.
Use it, Reverend. Use it. Use it. Use it. In the meantime, you guys, make sure you follow these geniuses. AngelSimmons.com, LeAnzarStockley.com. Put those books in the air. Put those books in the air.
And wave them like
And
it's
the
just
cards.
okay.
And the cards. In our next show, we will utilize those cards, and I think
Yeah.
we're gonna do a random pool. Now, this is recorded. We're gonna do a random pool of a card, and that will be the topic of the show.
Oh.
Okay.
Hope it ain't a challenge card.
We're gonna see.
No, then we'll have to pull again if it's a
We'll have
challenge
to pull
card. That
again.
ain't gonna
Okay.
work. Yeah.
So, Rudy, make sure you tune in. We will be posting when our next show will be sometime in October, most likely towards the end of October, seems to be our groove. But we would love for you to participate. We're going to pull a card, a random card from Soul Circle, and we're going to chat about it. Conversation cards.
Be ready.
Good stuff. We have parting music.
There you go.
Thank y'all for watching the show. We appreciate y'all so much.
All right. See you in October.